A really cool part about doing the Turkey Boogie documentary is I've developed a really good relationship with Grant County Search and Rescue. So every year that we've done the documentary, we've gotten to go out to the Search and Rescue headquarters and just get to say hi to everybody. And I've gotten to meet Jim Webster, who's the commander at Grant County Search and Rescue, as well as Bego Gearhart, who's the vice commander. Kind of like Winnebago, right?
Kind of,
but not really. And they've always been great. They took us out to breakfast last year, and for 2015, we got to go to the headquarters and got to film around, and Jim and Bego, they showed us around and showed us all the stuff that had been purchased with the fundraising money. And that was really gratifying. It was really cool to actually see these tangible objects that not only had been purchased through the fundraising effort, but to know that these things like the boat and the gear and the ropes are being used to save people's lives. I can say from my own experience that I feel the sport of free falling and base jumping specifically is very misunderstood. And I think it's very safe for us as humans in our own experience to either stigmatize or dismiss something we don't understand. And I do it in my own life experience. I feel like I've done that in the world of base jumping too, before I met people in the sport and actually saw what motivated people to take risk.
Wow.
These people are actually scared doing this. And I think that's the biggest misconception that I had before I knew anything about the sport. I think that's the biggest misconception anybody has who's an onlooker and might not have someone they know in their circle of friends that base jumps, is that people are scared to jump off cliffs. And that's kind of the point, right? So it's not about, let's go see how far we can push the envelope. It's about, I'm really scared to go do this, and I want to go face my fear head on, and I'm going to do that by going up and going to the edge of a cliff and taking a few deep breaths, being scared as hell, and then being like, okay, I can do this, and then jumping off. As a metaphor to something bigger in life is that we all have fears, and these individuals choose to face their fear by doing it head on.
This is all you, bro. That's your lane.
If there's anything for onlookers of the sport to identify with, is that exact feeling, and that's kind of what transcends the gap between people who don't base jump and people who do, is there's this common thread of fear, and we face fear every single day in life. It looks different in some forms, right? Maybe you're afraid to quit a job, maybe you're afraid to start a job, maybe you're afraid to end a relationship, maybe you're afraid of public speaking. I mean, fear is fear. And whether it's fear you're feeling from getting up in front of a classroom and speaking, or whether it's the fear you're feeling standing at the edge of a cliff knowing you're about to jump off, it's still fear, and it looks the same. It's just being induced by different situations. In that regard, people who don't base jump actually have something in common with base jumping. It's the common thread of fear.
Just jump right here?
Yeah, I think they should jump right.
There you go. On your face, coming out the middle, plenty of slack. And you've got a little tuck up top, and it's not super tight.
As far as how my perception's changed over the years about base jumpers and the sport and whatnot, it's changed drastically, and I've gone from having this idea that I think most people have of these people are crazy and are dangerous and aren't thinking rationally, to seeing the sport as something completely opposite. I see it as something that is very grounded, and something that if you are going to walk out to the edge of a cliff and safely jump off, you have to have your bearings straight.
Very familiar fact that everything's complicated.
Suddenly, the door was open.